Hi, this is video number 2 on how to measure model 1969. The second drawing that you want to look at is a very important drawing. We call this a cross-sectional drawing. Typically, an architect will make a cross-section drawing to show some unique characteristic about the house. In this particular case, we can see that it gives you the height of the basement, height of the first floor living room, and the second floor bedrooms and so forth. What should also catch your eye is that we've got a sunken laundry, and you can see here that there's actually a step down into the laundry area. So from this cross section you can easily determine what the height of the basement would be, what the height of the first floor would be, what the height of the second floor would be. Now on our worksheet we have something called gross wall area. So for instance, this wall right here, this would be an example of a gross wall area because it's the area of the wall including any windows and doors. Net wall area is the gross area minus windows and doors. You'll also notice that there is a row for basement header and first floor header. So the basement header is called the basement header because the heat loss through the header area is attributed to the level below. So in other words, any heat loss through this part of the house is attributed into the basement. And so that's why we call this the basement header. It's also important to note that a header, whether it's a basement header or a first floor header, is always associated with the flooring system. If there is a floor, there is a header. So in this case, this is the first floor flooring system. And even though this laundry area is sunken, this is still a flooring system, so this is still a header. And because the heat loss is going into the basement, we call that the basement header. Here we have the second floor flooring system. And as you can see, there is a header at either end of this flooring system. And we call this the first floor header because any heat loss through this header is attributed into the first floor. Now when we go to the second floor, we see that we do have an exposed ceiling. There is definitely heat loss up through this ceiling. However, the ceiling is not a flooring system. And so therefore this area up in here would not be a header. Now you'll notice that the header is essentially part of the wall. So we do need to establish what the area of the exposed header would be. And so the header is simply the distance around the exterior perimeter of the building times the height of the header. So when we look at this basement header, we can see that the height of the basement header is about 10 inches. And so therefore, we would round that up to 1 foot. So we're going to make our basement header 1 foot high. Now, if we measure the second floor header, once again we can see that we're looking at about 10 inches, and so therefore this header will also be 1 foot high. And that's going to be the same no matter where the header is on any given side of the building. So in order to determine the distance of header, the area of header, you simply need to measure the distance multiply it by the height of the header.